video. Okay guys, so in this video I clearly want to do a review and of course a demo of the new Lorac palette. For those who's just joining me, welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell everyone else you guys know that the palette above all palettes, the palettes that one palette that if I went to a deserted island I would hate to be without, is my Lorac 1 palette. I still love this thing. This is still my #1 palette of all palettes on the planet for me thus far, out of all the ones that I have, and I have a plenty. But this one I still really, really love. I love everything about it. I love everything about it. I'm pretty sure you know what it looks like. This palette has more warm colors, and what that means is that it just has a warmer tone to it. It's not too light. You can tell that when it was making the pigments, they put more darker tones into it to make it even more vibrant for those who have darker skin. It warms up the eye instead of giving it a cool look. It gives it more of a warmth to it. This is a palette that I think it's to die for. Everyone should have. However, they came out with the Lorac 2, and this is what she looks like. Now let me tell you from beginning, I was really reluctant to get this. Not that I didn't love it the first moment I saw it, I did. But for some reason, something was like stopping me from just jumping up getting it. So let's open it up, and this is what she looks like. And as you can see, it's definitely cooler tone, meaning the colors are lighter. As you can see, the entire top row is matte and the entire bottom row is shimmer. One thing I will point out is these first two here, they are the closest to being right in the middle of a matte and a shimmer, just because these are very shimmery and these are like mattes with slight shimmer into them. So with that being said, of course, for those who know me, I gravitated to pretty much the entire top row. I love the grays, I love the plum, I die for the blue. The black is in the cool gray. This one right here is gorge. And I also like some of the ones in the bottom, the two that stick, well, I guess the three. No, I take it back. The bottom row. But the ones that mean the most to me is this one here. She's beautiful. Love this chrome. You guys know me, you know I love green. And this right here is such a gorgeous everyday color for women of my skin tone, because it is just the most prettiest brown with a slight shimmer in it. Is everything. Pretty she is. She's gorgeous. Okay. See what I just had to do? The one thing that's different about this palette versus this one, and maybe it's never been, I've just been so in love with this one, is this one seems way more chalky to me. It seems very, when my brush hits it, it flakes up so bad. I guess the best way to show that is just to do it. My brush just hits it. You see how flaky it is? I don't like that. To the point to where I want to get close enough to where you guys can see what I'm talking about. To where you have to blow it away a little bit. I don't really care for that. So I don't like that. I feel like I lose a lot of product by doing that. And this is not cheap. This was almost about $42, $50 altogether with shipping. Can't say that I'm a huge fan with that. However, I do live for the colors. I do believe they're quite pigmented, but this, as well as most palettes, is a hit and miss. Some of the colors are like so amazing, so pigmented. The very first swipe and the very first application is all you need. But then there's going to be others, like really. But then there are going to be others that are not as pigmented. For example, the blue is as pigmented as you can possibly get it. You only have to go in maybe twice to really get the saturation and the color that you're looking for. The plum, the same. The grays, however, and I guess it all depends on your skin tone, However, I do feel like you have to go into those maybe 2 to 3 times to really get the color that you want. Now let's talk about some of the colors at the bottom. This one right here is amazeballs. To me, out of all the entire palette, I have to say, she may be the one shadow that I feel like if you swatched one time, you get everything you need. She's gorgeous. She's pigmented. She's everything. So, oh God, I just swiped it on my leg. It's really cute. But I have to say, you know, out of all the colors, that's probably the most pigmented one. However, the question will always come up, is it worth the hype? And the best way I can answer that is to say it depends on what type of makeup enthusiast you are. Meaning, if you're a person that like high quality products, a person that really likes those odd colors that you're not going to find in a drugstore, you're not going to find that plum in the drugstore. Forget about the blue. It's not happening. The green is gorgeous. This nectar is everything. Necessarily find these colors in like a regular drugstore or something like that. What I will say is that if you are a real makeup enthusiast, you will like this palette. You may not like the fallout, which there definitely is fallout. So let me just make that very clear. There is definitely fallout in this palette. Some may hate that, others may not care so much, particularly those who have a certain way of applying their makeup. Like for me, I do my eyeshadows before I apply my foundational concealers and all that stuff. So fallout is not that much of a big deal for me because I can go into cleanup mode when I go to apply the rest of my face. But for those that do it the opposite way, you're going to hate this because you're going to be cleaning up like crazy. Yeah. So once again, it depends on the type of consumer you are. I'm sorry. It depends on what type of makeup enthusiast and your routine and your application process. Does it make a huge difference with brushes? And I'm going to say no, because I've tried numerous brushes in this and I find that regardless of the brush, it's still going to flake up on you. So it's quite powdery. Definitely, obviously the most powdery ones are the matte ones. Not too bad on the shimmers, even though they are still powdery. They're nowhere near as powdery as the matte ones. Would I recommend this? Once again, it all depends on if you're a person who would die without those colors. Me, I wouldn't die if I didn't have this. I would die if I didn't have this. And if I didn't have this, I would die. Like literally just like go. Like seriously, bye-bye. But there are a select few. Like if I can take this palette, take maybe 6 or 7 shadows out of it, I could get rid of this. But there's a few of them in here that I absolutely love. That blue, that plum, that green, the grays. There's these colors, some colors down here I live for. So that's what make it a palette that's worthy for me. However, if I can't just like rave to the skies about it, because I personally don't think it's all of that. But yeah, that's my review. I hope it helps. You guys have already seen swatches. The only reason why I'm not doing swatches, if you would like to see swatches, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to go and add them to my Instagram page, so which you should be following me anyway. So let me know and I'll do that. So with that being said, this is the look that I came up with today, which I'm absolutely in love with, because you guys know how I feel about that blue and how I feel about that peach color. So this is what I came up with. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you already know what to do. And until the very next time, be blessed, be a blessing to others, and I'll see you in the very next video. Mwah.